I tell you, I'll tell Brendan now in a minute. Now we're just looking at the intro there coming in, and that was a Tom Waits tribute act we did many years. I'll show you videos later on. Hello, good evening, welcome to the Green Room. Come to you live from the top of the town studios on Ireland's first live web TV music and art show, viewed by nearly 2 million people in 3,462 countries throughout the universe. That's it. You know that thing they planted today on the comet? That was us. If you see it on Sky TV tonight, but you have to watch it at the right angle. Just as, and you'll see the little logo, Cavan TV, on it. That's us. That's us. Worldwide, Interstellar. Have you seen that, Dave? Interstellar, no? No, not yet. I'm talking to Dave here. Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And at this stage, you're a young friend. You're not an old friend.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're part of the family.
I'm part of the furniture, yeah.
No, part of the family. It's Brendan McCahey, ladies and gentlemen. Always welcome.
Good evening, Paul. Good evening, Cavan TV.
Very special reason he's here this evening is because he's launching the new album this week. And I'm just going to let you tell us all about it, Brendan. And I'll intersperse with random questions. as we the name of the album.
The name of the album, Paul, is called To Where I Begin. It's out on Friday the 14th, 2 days away, and it consists of 10 songs. 9 of them were written by myself, mostly produced and co-produced with Carl Odlum and myself. And there's one cover version on it.
Who's the co-producer?
Oh, Carl Odlum.
Oh, yeah.
Carl is an amazing man, an amazing producer from up in Dublin. His brother Dave and himself were part of The Frames.
Oh, yeah.
And Carl still tours with The Frames intermittently too. Also, they work together with Gemma Hayes and some of her albums as well, and with Anne Scott too. So,
did you get to pick your producer, Brendan?
Yes, I did.
I
did, and it was always going to, for me, it was always going to be Carl because I knew him so well, and producing is like anything else. It's trust as well.
Oh yeah, it's an art and a skill.
And I trust him an awful lot, and his opinions too. Carl's worked a lot with Ham Sandwich over in Kells too, and he's a brilliant man in many ways too, both in production wise, but also in opinions as well, a musical taste, and he has a great knowledge of music that's gone before and is currently around too.
And he knows you, and he knows your style.
Yeah, he knows me and he knows himself. It took us. I know that we recorded demos, and it actually does take a little while, 2 or 3 songs, for a person to get to know musically what's. And Carl is a great talker, and he's a great knowledge of everything, both electronics, especially electronics. His father was into electronics, and a very interesting fact too is that his father used to mess around the garage at home, doing just recording demos and recording songs, but it was him that recorded the Save Cross Code.
What?
Yeah, do you remember the Save
Look
Cross
Code?
Yeah, that's right. So Carl was a wee boy singing.
Don't hurry, stop and wait.
He's singing, don't
Look
hurry.
Look all around and listen before you read. I know, of course I know it.
Yeah, so that's where
I'm not only a wee boy now, I've been a wee boy all my life, you know. Yeah?
I know that too.
And I used to run over him. Well, a few people are asking, why did I ask you the question, did you pick your producer? Because in a record company situation, sometimes the producer is picked for you.
Most certainly, yeah. In most cases. Universal Music Ireland, for me, were very, very good right through from the start of this process to the end. I think maybe because I am a little bit older than a lot of the other contestants that came before, and the others understood probably from talking to me that I kind of knew what I wanted, and they were prepared to go with it, to see where it would go. If they weren't happy, I'm sure they would have stepped in anyway at any stage. But everything went very smoothly from beginning to right to the finished product now.
Had you the songs ready?
Most of them I had ready, yeah. I had the
demo. The old songs, Brendan, I have to ask you, were the songs you had and you said, oh yeah, this is good stuff?
Sweet Love was probably the oldest of the songs, the single. And then the rest of the songs are, I'd say two years old. Like, well, some of them were very, like the other side, the next song was only written just after The Voice. Some of them, the oldest would be, about 2 years old. From ending from 6 months to 2 years old.
And the selection process? Like who picked the single? Did you and Universal sit down and say,
Actually,
"Sweet Love is the one for us"? And
it would have been Universal picked the single.
Yeah.
They picked the song they wanted to sing. I did want something else, but I was okay to go with that because the thing was I was really happy with all 10 songs, so it didn't matter to me at all. The truth was, it didn't matter to me which song was going to be the single.
We can't wait to hear the album when it's coming out now. But give us an insight.
Okay.
Fast, slow, fast, slow, fast, slow, 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 fast.
Well, it starts off with the first song is called "The Other Side." The Other Side was
which is presumably the next single.
I think it is going to be the next single.
Possibly.
Yeah, possibly will be, and it's a song inspired by love hate. A lot of people think that it's about. I suppose the thing when you're writing songs is that you have it about some subject matter, but if it really should have wings to be able to be universal. Universal as in it should appeal to so many different areas and parts you like to. And The Other Side is one of those songs that does that anyway. But it was almost about someone trying to get to be something else, but inherently they're not that something else. They are who they are. They haven't accepted that, no matter how much they want to be. For example, if they're inherently bad and they're trying to be good, it's kind of hard to be that. And that was the inspiration from Love Hate as well.
Yeah.
Some of the characters were trying to be something else that they weren't, and ended up just going back into doing a deal or something and being shot. Usually. Or worse.
Yeah, worse. Oh, yeah, as we've seen.
Let's not go there.
Enough. Enough. That's the talcum powder misses. But anyway.
Oh, my God.
Next track.
Next track after that then is... Safe and Well. I think it's Safe and Well is a song that I had out about 2 years ago, and it was a song that did well for me even back then. It's a song that I took ABC in America, NBC in America asked me to come over and play this song live on one of the television shows. So I chose that song as well. I actually re-recorded it. I sped it up. I made it faster and did a whole new arrangement of it as well. And then, so it's a mid-tempo song.
Yeah.
And then
and people are wondering why we haven't got hard copies. They're not out yet. The hard copies.
They're not released yet.
Yeah,
It's
not available on download.
It's available. It's not available. Everything is open on the shop is open. Shall we say the Brendan McCahey shop is open on Friday, and so. Yeah, and then we'll know all then. Because there's an in-store gig on Saturday then as well in Drogheda, in CD World in Drogheda. We'll play some of the songs then live. And then Sweet Love is the single. Then it's next after that. Kind of luscious 50s inspired melody and arrangement too. Some great musicians. I have a few musicians up at Late Late Show.
Yes, St. Anton. We'll be back. We'll be back.
Oh,
just, only had the touch of a cold soda. That's why there were a couple of bum notes came through.
Oh,
that's what it was.
Well, it sounded fairly good, Paul.
Yeah. Either that or it's where I got a skite or something. Go on.
Be careful.
No, I'll be careful because I could be going on the road with you doing the trumpet.
Oh, you could be doing the road.
Who knows?
The road doing the trumpet, Paul.
Anything could happen. Anyway, the next track. Moving quickly on.
Next track is Honestly. Honestly is a song that I wrote, and it's a very sound-wise. I suppose I can only compare them with other songs I've heard. It's a bit like Simon & Garfunkel. It's that those very tight, interwoven, very lush and beautiful harmonies. I'm harmonising with myself in it, and then it's mostly an acoustic track. And I know Marion was saying it would be a great single, but yeah, it's the next song then as well.
Marion, well, we trust Marion.
Always trust Marion.
Don't worry. We'll get a second opinion from Teresa. We're watching that, Teresa. We're watching you as well. Don't worry about
that. And Paul, the next one, Missed Your Turn is the next one. Missed Your Turn is it's again
great titles. Great titles there. Missed Your Turn, I guess.
Yeah, well, Missed Your Turn, I suppose, yeah, it's self-explanatory too, maybe, in that sometimes a person might strive for something and people could say, what are you doing that? You missed your turn, that's just it. But it's keeping your head down and keeping focused and do what you want to do and let nobody stop you what you want to do. And it's quite a fast melody, quite a fast tempo, and it's very like Buddy Holly, Peggy Sue. It's got that sort of
Maybe we'll get you to do it now in a while.
Yeah.
Maybe. When we go through this track listing first.
Okay. I don't know where we're on now, Paul, but I think the next song is oh goodness.
Missed Your Turn.
Yeah, Missed Your Turn. Then To Where I Begin. To Where I Begin is it's probably the country inspired part of the album, and it's it's a gorgeous song, just a gorgeous song, and look at that, even me, I should have been.
But no, that's the way to do it. No, it's a countrified.
Yeah, really.
If you could pick a country singer to sing that song.
Okay. If I could pick a country singer to sing To Where I Begin, I probably would pick someone like Katie Lang.
Oh, Jesus,
yeah, she would be the girl to sing that song.
Yeah.
Of anyone.
She's incredible.
An amazing singer. Yeah.
Fantastic.
She'd be the girl that would really bring the best out of that song. It's a beautiful song.
Can't wait to
so
hear that
some nice slide guitar on it. There's beautiful piano playing, a lovely shuffle on the drums as well. Really, really good and very well recorded. Recorded down in Grass Lodge as well.
Brilliant.
Next track is On and On. It's a cover version by a band in the 90s called the Long Pigs, and that's the cover on the cover track on the album.
Tell us a bit about that now. Tell us a bit about the band.
The Long Pigs were a band that were really favourites. They were a band that were loved by a lot of people who are really dedicated fans. The guitar player of that band was Richard Hawley, who himself now has gone on to bigger things. Yeah. But the Long Pigs did really well for themselves, and kind of got caught and broiled up. There's a lot of, it got messy, should I say, with drugs and
that's what happened.
All that.
Did Richard Hawley play with somebody else?
Richard Hawley played with Pulp as well.
Pulp, yeah. That's how I remember him. Yeah,
he played with Pulp too, and so
now he's revered as a guitar player and songwriter, and
very much revered. Yeah. And back then, their songs were really great. It's just there was such a big wash of the Britpop. There was so much bands and music came out at that time. I think they might have got lost in all that
mix
as well.
Yeah.
And then
why that cover, Brendan? You that has so many, and why did you bother with a cover? Why didn't you make it at all?
Well, you know, the head of Universal Music in Ireland is a great man, I have to say, and I admire him very much, a man called Mark Crossingham. And Mark's, the great thing about someone like him is that he is actually into music and he loves music. And so he was talking about the Long Pigs, and I said, oh yeah, of course I remember the Long Pigs. And then he just said to me, did you ever think of doing that version On and On? I know it's kind of, the song itself is revered.
Did you know it at the time?
Yeah, I did.
You were familiar with it, but you didn't.
I was familiar with it, and I knew that it was kind of revered by a lot of people. A lot of people love that song and who are fans of that era. It was one of the big songs that came out that wasn't so popular, but the people who were into music knew it.
The hit that never was.
The hit that never was. So I listened to it again, and I liked parts of it, and then I didn't like other parts. So I kind of turned it around my own way to suit myself, and so I just went into Temple Lane studio. I just did a version on the upright piano, and then I put the acoustic guitar over it, and then just sang the vocal then on top, and then just put a harmony then underneath, and it came out. Yeah, it came out really well.
You're delighted with it?
Yeah, it came out really, really well.
Who else is playing on the album? This is me being this is my own. I want to know for me now. I want to know.
Well, the other musicians on the album. First of all, there was 3 different stages. So most of the time it was myself and Carl, and Carl played the bass, and I do the guitars and the pianos and the vocals and all the backing vocals. And then the drummer would be Graham Hopkins did some of the drumming. Yeah. He recorded on 3 songs, Graham did. And Graham plays now with Glenn Hansford as well. The other drummer that played another 3 songs was a man called Binzer. He's from Dublin, and again he plays with a lot of different bands, Sharon Shannon Band, and does some stuff with the Frames too. 2 really good lads from Dublin. The drums on Sweet Love was done by Paul Finnegan. And Matt.
Give a wave to the lads now.
Paul, Matt and Eamon.
The lads.
The boys, yeah.
The rest of my band, actually.
The rest of your band, Paul. So the 3 boys played the drums, bass, guitar on that tune. As well as got a string section in too, and a brass and horn section, as you well know,
Yes.
Paul. And then, the other part was then the Grouse Lodge recording. I did Do Where I Begin in Grouse Lodge, and for that, then I was very fortunate. I got a lot of session musicians in for that, and there's two brothers, Keith and Jason Duffy. Keith he plays with the Corrs, and Jason does a lot with Sharon Shannon. But also some of Sharon's band as well. So there was Jack Maher was the guitar player, and then Max Greenwood played the piano too.
All top-notch people.
They were all really good session heads. Yeah, they were really
and very cool.
Very cool. I mean, To Where I Begin was just recorded one take. That was it. You know, it's just turn on the machine and it just rolled.
And much rehearsal? Was there much?
Not much
pre-production.
Not much, and even for a lot of the tracks on the album, when I was recording the album, is that I'd done the songs at home and I had them prepared to such a standard that when I took them to the studio, everyone kind of knew where it was at and where it was going to go. So I came prepared.
Did you have to send them stuff? Did you have to send them on stuff and say, this is what the song is, lads, with a bare...
Well, most times I at home I'd do the drums and the bass and the piano and the guitar. I'd have it to that stand, like I'd have it finished.
That's brilliant. That saves so much time, wouldn't it?
It does, Paul. But I understand more than anybody that time is of the essence when it comes to in your studio. And really and truly, the whole recording process of this album would have took 6 or 7 days. That's it.
That's incredible.
It would have been no longer than that, and that's including the mixing as well.
That's amazing. You're going back to 60s standards there, you know that. They used to do them.
Yeah, right.
But they sounded better than anything nowadays.
Well, the thing was that, once you had the first part, you had the song, and the song was just a perfect piece of work. Then what you put on top was only a sprinkling of the dust, the fairy dust, and those musicians back then were just amazing, you know. And nowadays as well, it's that's what you'd like to be doing, you know. Music has meant to have soul, and if you start putting too much stuff on electronic noise and gadgets on top of certain music, it kind of loses that. Yeah. And you don't want to lose that, because that's the thing that makes the song special.
You hear some of the stuff and it's just...
but it's for a certain market. That's
it is, absolutely.
Well.
It's for...
And there are people who love that.
It's for now, It's for the now people, which is the youth of today, blah, blah, blah. But they're just, good.
Well, I wouldn't say the youth of today either, because really and truly, when you look at the Boys in the Stripes, they would agree with us. So there are certain people who like certain things, and then there's other people who don't. But you should never think that the kids are fools, because they know and understand more than anybody.
Give us a song.
Sure, Paul.
Let's hear a song here from this man now.
Oh, my plectrum's here. I think I have it here.
Have you plectrum? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Brendan's going to do a song from the new album now. This is especially for us. And coming up after Brendan, we've got a show that I recorded yesterday evening. And it's another green room on after this one, because Brendan has to go to... We're actually going on a secret mission. None of this trumpet business now. This is just us going up. So coming up right after Brendan, you'll see another green room. So when we're finished, there'll be a bit of a break, and then a new one will start. So that's that sorted, Dave.
So, Paul, we mentioned the Buddy Holly inspired Missed Your Turn. So, yeah, I'd love to play it. And will I give it a go?
Give it a go.
I love the backdrop. That's amazing.
Cool, isn't it?
Burning up in a blitz, catching moments as you speed through the rush. You fall behind. Missed your turn, little one, you missed your turn. There's only more to gain with the pain. Try again, try again. You get nothing for holding back. But what if I don't fancy that. Most times you're just making up the numbers. Missed your turn, little one, you missed your turn. There's only more to gain with the pain. Try again, try And only when the sparks fly do we see the true meaning of equality. Sweet starlet, you can't cover up all you're meant to be. It's only two to me. Fake it once, try again. Fake it once, feel the shame hanging from a brighter star. There's only room for one missed your turn, little one. You missed your turn. There's only more to gain with the pain, so they say. They keep on saying, only when the sparks fly do we see the true meaning of equality. Sweet starlet, you can't cover up all you're meant to be. It's only two to me. Only two to me. Only two to me. Only two to me. Only when the sparks fly do we see the true meaning of equality. Sweet starlet, you can't cover up all you're meant to be. And only when the sparks fly do we see the true meaning of equality. Sweet starlet, you can't cover up all you're meant to be. It's only two to me.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I was drumming to it in my head. There's the big drums on there.
Yeah, there is.
Dum, 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 Bo Diddley.
It's a. And do you know what I did? I got it's so funny the studio at the time recording this song because I wanted to use boxes. I wanted to use cardboard boxes.
Yeah, Elvis job.
And we did. It's a great photo of me putting boxes in front of Graham. They're all different sizes. So he's the little cardboard box. He's a bigger cardboard box. A big, huge cardboard box. Small. So he's 6 cardboard boxes. And here's me trying to find a sound and see which sounds the best. Yeah. So we found the one that sounded best, and it just made such a different cardboard boxes.
Oh yeah,
I hate it sounds stupid, but it really made the sound of that song.
Good Luck Charm, Return to the Sender, all them. The snare is a cardboard box.
That's amazing.
You listen to I'm telling you, listen to Good Luck Charm tonight, and you'll say, "Why didn't I hear that before?" It's just a dead dum 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 dum. It's a cardboard box.
That's amazing.
And a lot of Buddy Holly's was cardboard boxes.
A lot of Buddy Holly's was cardboard boxes, and Fleetwood Mac indeed. Secondhand News.
Oh that
song as well. Yeah. But I used a cardboard box in that song.
I can't wait to hear that now, and I hope it's really loud. Turn up that bloody cardboard box. Turn it up.
Turn up the cardboard box. The cardboard box is not loud enough. Yeah, because I was saying that to Carl in the mix, and we were laughing at that funny enough as well too. That's very funny.
Fantastic. And I was getting a rhythm. There's another one. Japan, you know the band Japan.
Oh yes, of course.
Always had loud drums, and
huge loud drums.
Visions of China.
Amazing guitar, amazing bass guitar.
Yeah. Oh yeah, with the fretless bass.
The fretless bass, yeah.
They had this drum sound which was massive, and Visions of China was a song, and I was singing it while you were playing that there. Like, dum, 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 dum. Anyway, what does Brendan listen to in the car?
Oh, you know,
we listener coming over the same
every week it's something different. And myself and Noah are in the car quite a lot, so we listen to different things. So it's usually what I listen, and then Noah gets into it, and he has me having me playing it on repeat. So at the moment it's Lage and Leaf by Fairport Convention. Would you believe?
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
So he's listening to that, and we were listening to
with Sandy Denny.
With Sandy Denny, yeah. and like no one knows the words of some of the songs of. And then we just Arcade Fire. We listened to Reflector, the new album by Arcade Fire as well, quite a lot. Then we Queens of Stone Age. We have Goo by Sonic Youth.
Sonic Youth thrown in there as well.
Yeah,
you know,
yes,
just
Sonic Youth. Yeah, Son House, the sessions, some of his live sessions. Oh God, it's anything and everything, Paul. It's just a mix of completely everything. Velvet Underground. Jimmy F. Rogers, a country singer, famous country singer, and Serge Gainsbourg, Melody Nelson, Scott Walker.
That's it. That's I'm going for. Thank God. Well, I'm going for a spin with you after this.
Yeah, come on, Paul.
Somebody was in the car with me one day, and Ella Fitzgerald was on, and Led Zeppelin came on after it, and what do you listen to? Let's go from one thing to the other.
But and they're so related. Even I can see how you put Ella and Robert Plant and Led Zeppelin in the one sentence.
Absolutely, you put it all on Woody Herman, the whole lot.
Very much so. It's
throw it all into the mix. Brendan, are you going to tour now?
Yes, Paul, I have some dates up on the website at the moment, and there is more being added as time goes on.
Tell the people about your new website, because when we look at it this evening, it's fabulous.
Thank you very much, Paul. Yes, my new updated website is brendanmcahey.com, BrendanMcCahey, brendanmcahey.com. And yeah, it looks amazing. So it's all linked in through Facebook and through Spotify and through iTunes, and it's amazing.
Everything does everything, doesn't it?
Everything does everything, yeah.
One thing goes to the other, goes to the other, goes to the other.
Goes to the other.
A bit mad sometimes.
Yeah, it's mad. Well, the great thing is that everything's in one place. As a website, it's brilliant that you have all the information is in one place, because there are so many different social media things now. You go to Facebook, you go to Twitter, you go to Instagram, but and the website is great that everything's in one place. You can just see it and then download it, and then all the artwork for the album, you'll see what it looks like as well.
I've got a Kindle now, and this thing comes up on the phone if you're looking at YouTube videos. Would you like to send this to your Kindle? How does it know? Doesn't know where I am. What's going on here? What's the story here? It's bad stuff, isn't it?
Oh, it's just it's unbelievable, yeah.
So, will you be concentrating mostly on downloads or hard copy, or
for the single it was all download?
Will it be vinyl? Will it be a vinyl copy?
I would love a vinyl, but oh God, I'd love it. But at the moment, no. At the moment, no vinyl. A few people have asked about vinyl at the moment, but it's just to do vinyl. I'd prefer wait a little bit longer to see how it goes before doing vinyl, But it is hard copy. It is on CD, and it is download as well. The single, Sweet Love, was just download only.
Just download, yeah. Just to get it on the click.
On the click, yeah.
Can we get another song off you before we go?
Of course, Paul. Yeah, I'd be delighted to.
Fabulous.
Anything you'd like.
Now, your choice. Now, this is your choice. I'll let you do a cover, do another one from the album. But either way, don't forget, Brendan's album is released this week on Friday, so we can't wait for it to come out, and we'll have hard copies. And we'll be giving away a copy or two in a couple of weeks' time, because Brendan's going to send us some. And
I certainly will.
And you'll hear them all over the country, on all the local radios and all that. You've been everywhere as it is. Yeah,
I've did a lot of playing as it is, Paul. That's true.
And on a serious note, the Late Late was a great experience for you, wasn't it? It was great.
Oh, it was a fabulous experience. Yeah, really, really was.
And it's fantastic exposure to get.
Oh, it was just the best, the best exposure to get, and to meet all those people and to have a great group of lads up at you, it makes it such a brilliant experience as well, because it's really just night out. In that sense, there's no pressure in any way at all. For me, there wasn't a second of pressure. It was just really enjoyable, bit of crack. That's what it was.
Exposure, like we say. And just like we got a picture of the website now, I believe, coming up here. There, that's it.
Oh, that's it,
Brendan.
That's a good-looking lad, isn't he?
He is a good-looking lad. You must have got a good photographer to take them pictures.
We got a really good photographer with the best in Ireland, Paul.
What? Here we go. Who was that photographer? Who was that man?
A man by the one and only Paul
Reynolds.
Paul F.G. Reynolds. Paul Reynolds, a fabulous photographer and just a great person as well.
A great crack, and he's laid back.
Laid back, but so talented.
We better stop now, because he's going to be watching this. And he's going to be
Sorry that, Paul, but we're telling the truth here.
Telling the truth, absolutely. Brendan, what are you going to do?
I haven't got a clue. Let me just think 2 seconds.
Do you want to do a cover? Do you want to do an original? It's entirely up to yourself.
Do you know, there's a new song I wrote.
A new one?
Yeah.
An exclusive?
An exclusive.
We'll go for this.
Well, you know, this is a song I wrote about a place in Carrick. And I just love Molinari is a road in Carrick, and it's got a very poetic place, but I'm always going up that road. I thought that was a Dean Martin song. Molinari. That's brilliant. That's brilliant fun. So yes, this is called As Long As I Can.
Right. This is for Marion.
It's for Marion.
Noah.
And Noah.
Don't start naming because we'll be here all night.
Oh, that's true. You should never name one person because you're going to insult somebody else.
But I have to say hello to Teresa.
Say hello to Teresa.
Teresa. She's always contacted me on Facebook. But that's enough of that. We'll see you soon. This is it, Brendan. Come on, let's hear this one now.
I have to stop because this guitar's out, Jim. When you put the capo on. That's sorry.
Yeah, they noticed in the control room there, they noticed how much out of tune it was.
Let's take two.
I heard him go, oh no, it's out of tune.
If I close my eyes, will this be gone? If I try to move, will it follow? Increasingly I'm becoming more aware of the cruel nature of how it works. If I give you this, will you give me that? Now you can never take it back, because it's mine and I'm going to cherish it as long as I can. Found a thing that I can do quite well. I believed you once and I can again. 6 years is a long time and a lot can change, but Molinari still looks the same. If I give you this, will you give me that? Now you can never take it back, because it's mine and I'm going to cherish it as long as I can. Now you can turn your head in the heat of a dispute. There's one thing that I've realized, is that it always comes back to haunt you, to haunt you. As long as I can. As long as I can.
Brilliant.
Thank
Very,
you,
you say you will love me till Beatles, till the end of time. And McCartney mid-70s. Ram.
Oh yeah,
that's
brilliant song.
Oh yeah,
It's brilliant album.
brilliant. That's fantastic stuff. That's not on the album.
That's not the album.
Oh, right. Molinari, that is fantastic. That'd be a great name and everything. And I was making videos and everything in my head while you were saying that. I was directing and everything.
That's brilliant, Paul.
Jesus. Brendan,
No better man.
thanks a million again.
A pleasure. Thank you to Cavan TV. You've been a great support to me all right through. And the people of Cavan.
Yeah, that's, well, you've got it, man. You've got it. And Brendan's going to be on, we don't know exactly when, probably the new year you're back on the telly again.
Yes, back in the next series, hopefully.
Yes, yeah. So we look forward to that. But you'll be hearing him all over the country. No matter where you are, on any local radio, Brendan will be on it. And look at Brendan's Facebook page and he'll be giving you... And look at the website. What am I saying? Look at the bloody website, the new website. And you see where he's going to be performing on tour, BrendanMcCahey.com. And we're going to have him in. And Brendan... Best of luck. It's
Thank you very much, Paul.
Absolute pleasure having him. Brendan McCahey. Let's hear it for Brendan. Woohoo!
Yeehaw!
Brilliant stuff, Brendan. And I can't thank you enough, and I want to hear him singing again. But we're going up to see Dermy and Martina, so Martina, put on the kettle. I'm delighted to be joined by two absolute beauties from the art world. The lovely Jackie O'Neill and Michelle Harton, ladies and gentlemen, who have an exhibition coming up in, well, it's over the next couple of weeks actually, and it's kicking off in Ballyjimstoff, is that right?
Yep, in the County Museum.
In the County Museum, and it's called The Hollow. I'm doing good at remembering this now.
Yeah, yeah, very well.
The Hollow, and it's visionary. Is it visionary? Visions and folklore tales. Girls, tell us about it.
Yeah. Well, it's basically me and Jackie were chatting at her exhibition, her Japanese exhibition last year, and I'm not sure how we got into it. We were talking about the folklore stories she'd learned in Japan, and then we were both saying how we'd love to learn more about Irish folklore and mythology, and then you suggested it, didn't you?
We've been meaning to exhibit together
Right.
since I came home to London, because we had been doing craft fairs together, and it was just something we both talked about as artists and friends.
And have you been doing craft fairs together?
Yeah.
All over the world?
No.
All over Cavan.
All over the Cavan, yeah.
Practically the world.
At the moment, Cavan is the centre
Yeah.
of the world. Everyone comes to Cavan and
is.
say, what's going on?
It's big enough for us at the minute,
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah.
And no, I want to find out the background here first of all. We'll go back. Right, what was your first exhibition together? Can you remember?
This is the first one.
Well, the first
yeah.
craft fair together. It was when I moved home first. Was it the backyard one? in
Yeah,
Harton?
we had been doing the backyard craft fair. We usually just do the Christmas craft fairs every year, and backyard and the Kilmore, just different small ones. Like each year we would do different
And
ones.
what would your crafts be like? What would you be?
I would have been selling my Dottie Was a Deer artwork, which is kind of similar to this show. Michelle was selling candles and teacups,
Yeah.
but she's an incredible artist
Yeah.
and wasn't making the most of that, so...
I had been very nervous about. I'd always painted and done art myself and done art classes since I was very young. But it was kind of Jackie's encouragement and encouragement of some more of my friends that I should show them. So then we started talking about it, and then Jackie encouraged that we should do the two together. So then we applied to the arts office for one of their arts awards. And then when we got it, it was, we can't
You've
turn
done it
back
now,
now.
yeah,
It was,
You've made the leap.
Yeah.
There's nothing like a deadline to get the work done.
But it is.
Yeah.
It's the truth, though, isn't it? It gets it going.
I'd never have an exhibition if I didn't set that.
Yeah. If you hadn't somebody to kick your ass, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
But you enjoy it, though. You enjoy your art and all that, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Where do you get your inspiration? Michelle, you could be thinking, because the same
Okay.
question's coming to you now. You've got an unfair advantage here now, right?
I'm making as fast as I can.
Thinking fast. It comes to be pretty easy. It's focusing on one idea and sticking with it, because then I can start getting inspired by something else when I'm in the middle.
But you've been in Japan and,
Yeah.
you've been all around the place, haven't you?
The first body of work I did sitting at my desk in the job I hated in London, and it was a lot of doodles and daydreaming and kind of little...
But were you in an ordinary job? Were you in a 9 to 5?
Yeah.
Come on, tell us.
I was working as a concierge.
La-di-da.
receptionist.
What?
It's not la-di-da. I was telling people what floor to go to.
But still and all.
So it was very boring.
Meeting people, and you're great at meeting people
And I had
and
a lot of
stuff
time
like
on
that.
my hands, and I was wearing a big horrible suit that didn't suit me at all. But anyway, I started...
Whereabouts
doing
in London?
It was in Bank, in the financial
What?
centre.
What? Hello? What? In the middle of snobdom.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just people coming in saying, what number's my room? They were coming in saying,
Well, they were saying that, yeah.
saying, what room am I in today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Push.
Yeah.
It was a
you
means
from-
to an end,
Yeah.
that job, but in the meantime I created this idea of Dottie Was a Deer and how I could, I created a little body of work and I gave up my job and came home and started. My first exhibition was in the Fla, the last Fla,
Yeah.
so I just moved home and I had been making the work in London, or the ideas at least, and they sold really well, so I just stayed on in Cavan. I was didn't really know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then the next body work was, I was like a big American tourist. I was all excited to be home back in the countryside. So I was out running the back roads in Ballyhaise and I was inspired by all the plants and the animals. So that's what the second
Were you
body
actually
was.
running?
Yeah.
You were doing this
Exercising.
jogging thing?
Yes. But I'd get inspiration when I was out running in the mornings from the plants and the animals. And
Oh, yeah.
then I'd go back later with my camera and my sketch pad. So that's what the next inspiration
I get what you're saying, because recently we did a cycle
Mm-hmm.
to Virginia, and so many times you travel roads,
Mm-hmm.
but when you walk or cycle, you see so much
You
more.
see so much.
You really do. I
Yeah.
never seen as much of
It's lovely.
the Cavan to Virginia road and what was on it and what, like you said.
Yeah, I never understand people who run on the bypass because you see so much
Yeah,
on
yeah.
country roads.
Yeah. Go off into the country.
Mm.
Michelle, you've had
Lots,
approximately
yeah.
2.5 minutes now. Come on.
Should have loads.
Yeah, come on.
Listen to
Let it out
Jackie.
there, woman.
So what was my
You were-
inspiration?
you were
It's
in
not
Cavan.
country roads.
Yeah.
You were in Cavan, then you went to... Where did you go after?
Let me see. I was in Cavan and I was in Vancouver for a year.
Oh, I remember you going that time.
Yeah, I had been there for a year, and while I was there, I worked in a vintage shop, and then I ended up working for a man who did transport for all the movies and
Hold on a
yeah,
minute. What?
that kind of stuff. So I was buying and selling like different kinds of fire engines and random, things that would be needed.
Movie companies would ring you and say, we want a 1956.
Yeah, well, the
fire
man I
engine.
worked for, he would be supplying, he would be moving the different, like the big trucks and the different sets around on scene. And then one of the things that I had been doing was Supernatural, that program. So he would move those around, and then sometimes they might need like this kind of a car, this kind of an engine, or this, so we would buy and sell those things.
Did you work on any big movies, or did you get to
It was mainly Supernatural. And the series was just
the
ongoing.
whole series?
Yeah, so that's how
And
I.
did you get to go on set?
I was on the set, yeah, not that often because I used to work like from his home office. But yeah, I have to go in and out to
I didn't know.
go to set. So yeah,
Yeah, there you are.
I would see the Supernatural people eating their lunch. So
I was waiting for the
Yeah.
folklore
Yeah,
scene.
that was a bit weird in
Yeah.
itself.
So I'd been doing art when I was there. I'd done art classes, and I've always done art classes.
Yeah.
And just did art myself. And then I really wanted to learn more about classical painting and drawing. That was something I always wanted to do. So I went to.
What's classical painting and
So
drawing?
it would be like the old masters style of paintings, very realist, of figures and still lives. So I wanted to learn how to draw and paint, realistically. So I went and I did a 3-week portrait painting class in Argenton Chateau in France. And so after that, at the time I had also been doing kind of some part-time courses in Enniskillen, in Fermanagh College there as well. And then the year after that, I was lucky enough to apply for the Tommy McLaughlin Award, and I won it. So I got to go back for 6 weeks. Excuse me. So I was learning how to do full figure drawing and painting there. And I found it the second time I went back a lot harder. Because in between I had been doing very kind of expressive work and going more into abstract work, but pulling figures out of it. And I felt I really enjoyed that, but because I had been doing the realistic work and I had been doing portraits of people with their animals, and then I found it too hard when I went back. And when I came home, I didn't paint for a while because I was very frustrated at feeling
Well,
that
you
it wasn't for me.
Well, you put it, yeah.
And that I had.
Were you knocked
spent
off
so much-
track?
Yeah, I was put off track because I'd spent so much time and money. But I mean, I'd learned wonderful skills in the meanwhile. But then, so I just kept doing the type of work that, especially that we're showing in the show, that I had been doing that for fun on the side, but I never really showed it to anybody. And then, as now and again, I would show a few, and I was involved with a wonderful arts group that we used to meet up with Ricky Vandenberg and a few other ladies from Cavan, artists from Cavan, and then they all were giving me great encouragement about the other type of work that I was doing. So
so your true vocation was there all the time.
Yeah, it kind of was coming out, and I mean, obviously, like, I put figures into the work, but it's this way it comes to me more natural, whereas the other work, even though I loved it and I loved that type of painting, but it felt like it wasn't coming natural to me.
But this, what you're doing now, is coming.
So
natural.
this work I really enjoy it, you know. So I think that's probably the most important. Whereas the other way, I would have just given it up. I think if
Thank
I had.
God you didn't.
Yeah.
Well, it brings us to the hollow, doesn't it?
Well, we'll see till we get to the end of the show what the reaction is.
No, it brings us to the hollow, Jackie. And so, how did you just sit there and say, let's do this? Or were you sitting there over a glass of wine one night, you know what we should do?
Well, I had been speaking to Jonathan Smith last year in the library.
Yes.
When I was sitting in Vigila in my Japanese show, and he has written a lot about folklore in Cavan, and I had been doing a bit about folklore in Japan. And then I thought, but there's so much here at home, you don't need to go all that way. And because Michelle is we had a few discussions about the folklore stories, and we'd been talking about that we wanted to do something together. But I don't like to rush projects with people just for the sake of it.
Yes,
you have to wait
no,
till
you've
the
got
right
to
one
think,
comes up. So when I got the idea from Jonathan about the folklore, I thought, this is one that me and Michelle can do together, definitely, because I knew it would really suit her as well.
Now, just rewinding slightly there, you studied Japanese folklore.
Well, I wouldn't go as far to say I studied it. I went to Japan and I did a body
Do you
of
speak
work.
Japanese?
No.
But how does that work? What?
Konnichiwa. That's
You get green for that.
That's
What's
hello.
yeah, what?
That's about all I can say. And arigato.
Is that not a yogurt?
I don't know. Thank you in Japanese. No, I went to Japan to visit somebody, and it was cherry blossom season. So I thought this is a great opportunity to do a new body of work, and it really was. So again, it was. I took photographs and I spoke to people about Japanese folklore stories when I was there.
And then you had your eureka moment there, and said, I could do this at home.
No, it was when I got back home. I thought, I was kind of thinking, where will I go next? I've done Japan, and I remember saying in the Cells last year when I was being interviewed how I want to go around and do artwork about different places, and I've done Japan, and we'll see where next is. But then it turned out it was on my doorstep. Which is the richest kind of folklore, because you can really relate to it. It's home,
And where did the research start? You started with Jonathan.
Yeah, we spoke to Jonathan. He was really helpful. We went into him in the library at the beginning.
Great. Yeah, everyone in the library was very helpful and gave us loads of books, and then we just start asking different people, like who would know.
The trail opens up.
Yeah, when you start asking people,
one thing leads to another.
People will say you should speak to this person or you should speak to this person, and
is it Cavan folklore? Is it Irish folklore?
It's Cavan folklore.
It's based in Cavan.
Yeah. Well, originally we had been discussing just Irish mythology in general, and then we thought it was just so big. Why don't we we'd love to learn more about the folklore and just the myths and the legends and even little traditions and cures and things like that.
So they're still here now.
Yeah. But it's kind of we found it hard enough sometimes to find them, and people would always go, oh, if only that person was alive, they would have been able to tell you great stories. So we thought that was one way we really wanted to keep them going, and to do it in a kind of a more contemporary style that maybe younger people would be more interested in seeing the work, and that they would remember the stories then and carry them on, hopefully, another
So
generation.
what shape does the exhibition take place? Does it, you're showing the pictures and then you're both speaking about them, or what? How's it?
No, we're not really going to be speaking about them. It's a visual. We're not claiming to be writers or historians or academics. We're responding visually to the stories we've we gathered so many, but in the end we had to just pick a certain amount each and focus on them and create an image about them. We do have the story beside the piece.
Well, we've got a couple of pictures to show now, and you can tell us a bit about them.
Okay.
And who did them, and I'm gonna look into them. I'm gonna see what I can see and see. Does it pertain what you would think it does? Right.
Okay.
We'll do a test here now. Right there. Here's the first one. Now that's somebody looking for their roots.
Me.
Seriously, is it? Yeah.
It's a fairy tree.
Yeah.
Actually, this is one of the ones that there's no solid story behind. It was a friend of mine in Hill area.
Did you do that one, Jackie?
Yeah. Brought me to this spot, and she said, my father told me that this is a famous fairy tree, and don't go near it.
Yeah,
One of
yeah,
these
yeah,
trees,
yeah.
Don't go near. So the roots is me kind of suggesting that there's this so much more bigger going on under the tree.
Underneath it, yeah. But fairy trees are still very prevalent nowadays, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a hawthorn tree,
Yeah.
so they're everywhere.
Yeah, but you see them in fields as you travel the country. You'll see a field, yeah, and there'll be a tree just standing there, and it's a fairy tree, and nobody will go near it.
Nobody will go near it. So it's just the light is suggesting some sort of a spirit, and the little girl underneath it's just suggesting life underneath the ground, which kind of is a theme that follows through in all my work.
Which is true, because the life of the tree is under the ground.
The life of the tree, but maybe the life of the fairies and the folklore and the
Oh, now it's getting deep now,
the
isn't
other
it?
world.
The other world, yeah.
But it's up for interpretation, really.
Oh, yeah, it's what you see.
This is going to be printed onto fabric with some embroidery. That's just the image of it. So all my work is
Fabulous, fabulous.
textiles.
Now here's another one.
This, another one of mine. That's called the Giant's Leap, and it's a monument up in the Burren in Cavan.
Oh, right.
And it's supposed to be the rocks. That's a giant's grave.
Yeah.
So the mythology says that two giants fought here back in the I don't know
Whenever,
what.
yeah.
Yeah, and they were fighting over a lady giant. They were trying to impress her with all different
So
games.
nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
It's still the same nowadays.
So that's the lady giant sitting beside them, watching them fight over her.
And it's this. Now that's drawn in pencil, is it, or is it?
Yeah, it's black pen and wash, like lots of different watercolours and inks and spray paint I used in it as well. Lots
It's
of
very
different
striking.
mediums.
It's very striking. I've been up at the Burren. We've been up at the Burren, and it's fabulous.
It's
Yeah,
really
it's
fabulous.
amazing, yeah.
And again, I didn't know about it till I was doing this
Yeah.
research.
Well, they only opened it this year. You know, really.
Yeah,
You know,
they
they only
did.
let people know, and I still don't think they're
It's
letting people know
fantastic.
enough.
Everyone should
You know,
go.
everybody should go to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it should be sold more. Let's have a look at another one, Brian.
That's another one of mine. This is, again, West Cavan.
Right.
The same day I went to the Burren, we stopped at the Shannon Pot. And the story behind this is that before it became a pot, it was just the Shannon. And King, or was it King Lear or not? He was the king of the sea.
Right.
He was the god of the sea.
God of the Sea.
Lear. His granddaughter, who was Shinnon, was it?
Yeah, Shinon. Yeah.
Shinon, came to Cavan
Fabulous name.
because she heard that the salmon and knowledge was there. So she came looking for him to take his knowledge. But he got angry when he saw her coming, and he spouted up a whole lot of water, and she died. But this is how the Shannon pot was formed.
So that's
Probably,
the
yeah.
Shannon comes from the name,
Yeah,
her
yeah.
name then.
From her name.
Yeah.
Or the other story goes is that it wasn't a fish at all, it was the tree of knowledge she was trying to take the apple from. So I've included the two
You too,
variations,
yeah, yeah.
and that's the pot behind her.
That is brilliant. Very
So-
again, a very striking image. Michelle, this is one of your ones.
This is one of mine. This is a story from Kill again. Well, this is Kill in Kilnalek, that there was a woman who had heard that if she looked into the mirror on Halloween night, that the face of her to-be husband would appear in the mirror, looking over her shoulder. But it was obviously well known in the town that she was going to do this. So little beknownst to her, two fellas from the area were hiding outside the window and held a big pig's head up to the window while she was looking in the mirror. So the pig's head appeared and she got a terrible shock then. So that's one story. But I remember, like, when we were in school, that they used to say, you know, if you looked in the mirror on Halloween night as well, another version was that the devil would appear in the mirror if you had said the devil. So there seems to be different variations.
Yeah.
And other
I've
people,
heard that too, yeah.
would say about the candles, if you put a candle either side, then the husband would appear.
Or the name would appear. Or
Yeah,
something like that.
so there's a lot, everyone has a kind of a different version of this, but it just that story kind of caught my imagination.
And that's, you've done it in an abstract style, yeah?
Yeah, so what I do is I start everything off in an abstract style in acrylic, and then I kind of see the difference, see if I can figure if there's different images that start to pull out of the picture, and then I just work on them in acrylic and with water-soluble pastels as well, and just keep kind of going. There's layers and layers. I keep layering. There's kind of constant
Going and
layering.
going, yeah.
Yeah, till I pull the figures out.
Brilliant. Have we
Thank you.
I'll hear this another of Michelle's now.
So this one is called The Nuns of Swellen Lake. This was a story I was told that there were 4 nuns who used to live around the Barrack Hill area, and they used to walk up and down the Barrack Hill, and they would walk around Swelling Lake, and people would see them all the time. But after the 4 of them had died, people would say that they could still hear their footsteps at night, walking up and down the Barrack Hill.
What?
This is one I had never heard before, and that they would be seen actually walking on the lake at night time. And there is a story about, as well, with Swelling Lake, that a coffin can be seen there with candles shining on top of it, which is also said to happen at the Green Lake too.
Hold on now.
So yeah. So it was amazing, these stories that we'd never heard
Green Lake
before.
up there?
Yeah, there's loads. We've a picture of the Green Lake, a painting about the Green Lake as well, called The Mysteries of the Green Lake. And there's a lot of different stories about the Green Lake as well.
That's a striking image there now with the stars in the background and the fish.
Thank you. Yeah, that's quite a large.
That is really haunting now.
Yes, you know, it was.
I'll be counting sheep tonight.
It was
Afraid to walk home tonight.
Yeah,
The 2 of you can bring me home tonight. That's it. Show us the next one, Brian.
So this one is called A Strange Funeral, and this is a story that I had read that was in one of the folklore books in the library, and it was a man called Bernard Donahue who had recollected this story. And so it was in Ballina one night there was a wake on, and you know, there were strange things were apparently being done with the body of the dead woman in the house, where that they would sit her up in the chair, and they were pretending to play cards with her and different things like that. And then at midnight,
with the dead woman that had a sit
with the dead woman, yeah. I think it was as the night went on, everybody got a little bit drunker, and you know, they had her up around the place. And so at midnight, a carriage pulled outside the door with 4 black horses, and this man got out completely dressed in white, and his face was all pitted with sores. And he walked into the house and ignored everybody else and walked to the end of the bed where they had put her back, and told her to get up off the bed. And the dead woman rose out of the bed, and he told her that he'd been waiting for her for a long time. So it's obviously a death story, you know, in a different guise of not the pitchfork and the big cape. And so she got up and she walked across the floor with him, with the man, and into the carriage, and they left. And so the people were so afraid they stayed in the house until the morning, until it got bright, and then they swore never to go back to the house again. So
maybe it was a love story, though.
Perhaps, but
you could take it from a romantic. No, you could take it from a romantic point of view.
Yeah,
he came for her, and off they went.
And he was able to raise her from the dead. Yes,
he saved her.
Well, there you are.
Yeah.
If you go outside now and there's a boy there with the 4 horses and he's all in white.
I don't think that's romantic. It could be death. I want to live till Friday till the open.
Wait till we hang on the pictures. Yeah.
How many pictures are there? Loads of them.
There's quite a lot.
I don't want to give away too much.
Yeah, I have about 15 pieces in total.
I'd say I have about the same.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
The same. So they're all different sizes, and we'll also have prints of the work as well that people.
It's very intriguing. It's very eerie.
There is a lot of eerie stories. Yeah.
Suspenseful as well.
We could have went on forever with it. The research.
Yeah.
You know, that was
I know.
the problem.
But it goes on and on and on.
And it was trying to dwindle it down to 15 stories was the hard part. There were so many, and even as we had. You know, what month was it? We said we'll stop research now. We need to start doing the artwork. People were still coming. I've got another story for you. And I was like, oh.
And they'd be great stories, and you go, oh, maybe I can squeeze in another one.
I don't know.
Could you expand it in the future?
That's what I was about to say. I don't know if it will end here. It's something you could do another body of work about it. So we'll see what sort of a response we get.
I've got shivers now. I'm not joking you. But it's good. It's doing its trick, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, most of the stories we had never heard before. So that was the lovely part, was learning all of these stories. So we hope that people will enjoy hearing these stories that they knew nothing about.
And, you know, it varies, because some of them are, you know, really old mythology, and some of them are just more kind of local fairy forts, or, you know,
some historical.
Fairy forts. Tell me a bit about them, because I've heard so many stories about them, and I've seen so many of them.
Well,
are they like?
It's kind of this place where people are told do not enter.
There's one up in the Dublin Road that everybody passes by in Stradone there.
The amazing thing about the fairy tree is it has protected so much of the countryside, and only for them.
Yeah.
You know, it really is something that people are still afraid of, but because of that fear, you know, those areas
even the
have been
hard-nosed
protected.
cynic won't go near a fairy
Yeah,
tree.
I mean, you don't go in there. It's where the fairies live, in under the fairy tree. And so you don't touch it. And then there is the fairy trees where people will tie the ribbons to them and make a wish. So we're hoping to and it's also seen as a gift that you're leaving for the fairies to please them. So we're hoping to have a tree installation in the middle that anyone that comes to the exhibition, we'd like them to tie a ribbon on it. So
Brilliant.
at the end, it will be full of ribbons. And then if anyone has stories, we're going to have tags and people can write their own. If they want to add their own legends and stories and family
Fairy
traditions,
tales, so to
they can
speak.
add them, and we hope to keep them all in a book then to, you know,
To connect
continue it.
for Cavan,
Yeah.
because, you know, so many people are saying, oh, so-and-so would have been great, but he's passed away now, and that's that story gone. So
Yeah.
it'd be good to try and...
To record it and have it there and
Yeah.
have it down.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't wait now.
Great.
Up to Cavan. Now, I want you to tell everybody now when it's on and where it's on, and we'll show the thing. So this is your big moment now.
Do you want to tell Michelle
I
about
don't mind. Yeah, you
Is the
do
camera
Belly
down?
Duff and I can do.
Okay, yeah, well, we're opening this Friday in Ballyduff at 8 o'clock. And it's running, well, we'll have a few little things at the opening, but it's running till Saturday the 21st. And then it's opening on the 28th in the Teachers Training Centre on Main Street. Again at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, it'll be 8 o'clock and it'll be there until.
It'll run for another 10 days, which
yeah.
is the 7th.
It'll be the
Is that
7th
correct?
it finishes, and everyone is welcome to come in and bring in their stories as well. We'd love to hear more and collect them, and everyone is welcome to the openings as well.
Fantastic. Have you got a website or anything like that? Or
Yeah.
your Facebook page or anything like that, in case
Yeah.
people want to leave comments and stuff like that?
My Facebook is Dottie Was a Deer.
Yeah.
And,
They're very famous.
She makes an appearance in this exhibition, well, kind of. My website is www.dottiewasadeer.com.
Right. www.dottiewasadeer.com. Right. And Michelle, what about yourself?
My website, which is still in the process, hopefully will be finished by Friday, is michellehartonart.com, and my Facebook page is also michellehartonart.com
Yeah.
or Facebook.
So
yeah.
look there for more details. Have we got the picture of the invitation, Brian? We can show there now. I don't know whether... There we are. There
Yes.
you are. Cavan County Museum and Carl's office to invite you to the official openings of The Hollow. It even's got that haunting name, hasn't it?
Yeah.
The Hollow.
Eerie.
A new movie.
Yeah,
The
well,
Hollow.
Cavan means the hollow, so we just
Yeah.
thought it, you know, it had such a double meaning to it.
A visual response to local folklore stories by Jackie O'Neill and Michelle Harton. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there it is for you now. Don't forget to go and see that. That's really exciting stuff, isn't it? Are you delighted?
I hope so.
Yeah, we really hope
We've
that
just
people
been
enjoy
working
it.
so hard that, you know,
Yeah, it's been
we
a
don't know
year.
how it would be received. Or
We've been working on it for a year between, you know, researching the stories and working on the painting. So it's been a long trip to get to here. So it'd be lovely to see everything up on the wall.
Fantastic. It will be fantastic.
Yeah.
Really look forward. Girls, thanks a million for
Well,
coming
thank you very
thanks for
much.
having us, Paul.
About time. Jackie, I've been looking for you for a long time, but that's enough about that.
I'm
Don't
here now.
Yeah, don't forget that. Don't forget going to Facebook now if you want any more details on Hollow. Has it got a Hollow Facebook page? An actual one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an event.
It's an event.
Yeah.
Yeah, so look for the event and put your name down there. Make sure you go and see it because it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, Jackie O'Neill and Michelle Harton.